Hello everybody and welcome to Fnatic taking on Heretics, map number 1 of Nuke. This is of course the map pick of Heretics. No surprises there, we've seen them dominate at the top level recently and coming out with a force towards that A-bomb site. Brawlin actually surviving and being able to tuck in the corner, but that might not help Dean because the T's are already down on B.
Yeah, instantly being redirected. Navira is holding for the drop down the vent as well, but Brolin doesn't care. Not only dealing with the drop down the vent there beforehand, taking out the lurker towards the door. So they have managed to swing this back in favor of the CTs now. XMS though, doesn't want to let that last too long, giving them a little bit of control now so they can get that bomb planted for over towards ramp. So it is going to come down to the 2-on-2. Definitely a tough position to be in. They should know Mac is still around. The bomb site obviously haven't planted. He has now been spotted up close to the double doors. You don't see Crims looking to take the ability to open the doors and try and catch him off guard. Instead, shifting up towards the window. And as Brolin gives them the opening, now Maka is forced to go ahead and retreat back in. Again, though, with that position of the bomb, it is in a pretty decent spot for him to try and run down the time. So they are forced to go in together. And against that Glock at close range, it's very difficult to deal with. Maka already bringing it into the one-on-one. The time at this point is too low without the defuse kit in Crims' possession. And he's going to be finished off. Heretics pick up the opening pistol. Maka, as we said, he has been the standout player for them alongside Navira for sure. But Maka, he's been up there a little bit even above Navira.
100%. In recent performances, when he gets that AWP up, oh man, it is a joy to watch. We saw him yesterday in that BO3 absolutely annihilate complexity. He was dropping 40 kills, I think 2 maps. And granted, there were a lot of overtimes in play, but it was still damn impressive to watch him again and again, beating a team that should be above him. Talking of a team that should be above him, well, Fnatic, number 1 in the world right now, rated according to HLTV. And Team Heretics, not quite there, but they did just make it into the top 30.
Yeah, we mentioned that the last day they had just obtained that spot. Still sitting in that number, of course, with Fnatic being number 1 at the moment. Ooh, that nade is nasty though on towards Flush. Having lost JW early on as well, I actually lagged out for a second and I didn't even get to catch that kill. My internet is still being a little bit in. But this is a very heavy SMG investment from Heretics overall, so there's still definitely a chance for these pistols and also for that FAMAS to find success once the push does come in from Heretics. But for the moment, they're not really in a rush. They know they have the time, they're waiting to see what aggression they can potentially spot out. And they do now know that they've lost the outside control completely because there was Flushes spotted up, I believe. They're pushing forward. So just stacking on towards A. I don't mind this. Gamble, stack one of the bomb sites. If it does come here, then you have a good opportunity. And even if they start going towards the ramp to bring it down B and such, they still be given some time to rotate through the vents and at the very least try and make it a costly ramp. But time is beginning to get low here for Heretics. They can't take too much longer.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a move pretty soon. 30 seconds on the clock. Nades being thrown out towards A. Kiyashima tanked up heavily. Fnatic looking to make the best of this buy. Flusha gets tagged up and taken down. They might not expect Crims in the corner. Brawlin already dragging some attention. He just needs to tuck in, and that's Crims' time to shine. Out he goes for a double. Caught in the back eventually. And although they don't make the round work, they do steal away 3 weapons from Heretics, making sure that there's a whole lot of reinvestment to come in on that T side, and that is going to hurt the terrorists early on. The thing is, though, Fnatic coming down to an eco, and in this kind of a situation, even with the 3 kills they found, you know, if they had a little more money, they could go for it. They could try to take, like, now is the ideal time to win a round. Heretics have no money, but it's just not possible with those lighter weapons. 4 AKs in play for Heretics, though, and this does present an opportunity for Fnatic. If they can get 2 kills in this round, they will steal away enough money that this pays off equity-wise, and then they definitely stand a good chance of destroying the money when it comes to the buy round. Pistols even winning the engagements towards outside, which generally, when you're on these weaker buys, is somewhere that you concede. You accept that you don't own that part of the map. Crims onto Navira, and Kiyashima's already very low, forced to fall back. They've actually held outside with just pistols. You don't see that every day.
It'll still be difficult for Fnatic to try and win this round, but 1 kill on top of the damage, as you pointed out, towards Kiyoshima, there's the opportunity for them to again try and make this at the quite a costly round for the T side. First, a lot of reinvestment to come out in the following. Spot out Brolin on top of the hood, a little bit of damage being outputted there. Maka coming through the door, eventually going to finish him off, and with that they should have the A quite easily. Well, as I say that, JW pops out to peek alongside Flusha from heaven. They are able to go ahead and get one kill, and look at the damage that's being done. Both of these remaining players now for Heretics are tagged up quite considerably. The Deagle from Grim's not going to be able to connect, but it's still all onto Maka to try and save the day, and he does it with the Glock. 2 headshots being found, but again, way too close for Heretics Lycan.
No, this is not glitched to anyone thinking impact player. I mean, it's just showing Maka's picture. Get used to it. You're going to see it quite a bit. But even despite his 3 fantastic performances in these rounds, Team Heretics are not in the best spot. They have to reinvest everything. All their cash is going into this round, while Fnatic do the same, but considering the 3-0 lead and the fact that Heretics were essentially against the Nico, that is not where you want to be. Fnatic have bought themselves a chance to get back into this map, to pull it off very early on and stop the teams from building up too many rounds. Straight through the molly, though. Lucky, he's already out on the site. The flashbang works perfectly. Brawling up above, gets caught in the back, though, and as Crims drops, and drops he does, going down to the floor for good. Heretics have got a man advantage. Molly up in heaven should grant them a bomb plant as well, although that smoke starts to be a little bit menacing.
Not a bad way to kick off the gun rounds at all here for Heretics, as you said. A good position now to flash into heaven. Was looking to, I guess, just delay a small bit. If they don't get a kill real quicker, though, they don't have a defuse kit to even really attempt this retake, so this is going to be extremely difficult. Peeking in, they do spot one player underneath heaven immediately. Unfortunately, he did have help, so not really able to go out and do too much about it. Flush is the only man to really be able to contribute there for Fnatic, and he doesn't even manage to live afterwards, going down immediately as well. So 4-0, Heretics with that straight up A-rush. They're able to get a fairly convincing open and gun round and make up a little bit for those previous ones where they were a little bit too close for their liking. And obviously having the opportunity here again with the economy for Fnatic not being fantastic to go ahead and get themselves another round relatively easily. Hopefully this time, because again, the pistols have been doing insane damage so far for Fnatic. It came down to the 1v1 and the 1v2.
Nades not quite landing the impact you would hope for early on for Fnatic, but they have still got 2 in play. Alongside Deagles, we've seen whole bunches of damage being done by these in the past. Lusha on outside this time in Crim's stead, but Maka quickly backs off after spotting that head peek angle. Not a fight he wants to get involved with. Heretics are playing this one decisively more cautiously than we've seen them in the past. Kiyashima not going near red on outside, and that's completely understandable. Last time he got hit to 20 HP and the player up on top of Silo was taken down. They're definitely respecting their opponents when they've got even those weaker buys in much more than they were earlier on. Brawling with a nade in hand. Here's the molly, and that signals time to throw that frag. Through the door, a decent bit of damage. Makes him 2 hit to a deeg.
Yeah, definitely helps out a little bit. Again, we're not expecting them to win the round, but if Fnatic can get even 2 or 3 kills, it would be a pretty great position, all things considered. They haven't put much investment into it. Obviously, we'll be looking in the next gun round to start getting into winning ways, but it's looking a little bit awkward for them right now. This is the choice of Heretics, to be fair, but it's still a decent map for Fnatic, so I was expecting this to start off a little bit better for them. Golden does get that 1 pickup in Hut, which actually gives them the AK, and I don't know if they know the second players here. Definitely being a little bit cautious, but XMS walking up will be taken down. The AK there being retrieved by Brolin, and he is just going to sprint away. Yeah, looking to try and save that rifle over. So the round will, of course, go the way of Heretics, but 2 kills, and AK then being retrieved as well. It definitely could have gone a lot worse here for Fnatic. But it needs to be this next round where they actually start getting something on the board. Otherwise, Heretics are just going to run away with an incredible T-side.
The bomb looks set to tick away. Don't think Brawlin's got anything up his sleeve for this round, Dean. What about you? He's a magic man, but be a bit too big of a trick.
Can he teleport in, spawn himself a super defuse kit to defuse in a second? Otherwise, the answer is no.
Anything's possible.
Just say.
Oh, but look, 5-0. I always love XMS getting the impact player. He just doesn't look pleased. Like he's expecting to lose every time.
I don't get to see it, sadly.
It's a very aggressive stare. Like that's the face when you cut in front of someone at the when you're at a grocery store, right? You cut in front of someone in the line. That's the face they make. Really, man.
Do you cut in front of people in lines normally, Mitch? That's quite rude.
I just try to sneak in, you know. Hurry, funny. Now, actually, I don't know if this happens everywhere.
Short, so it's
it's a thing in Ireland. I presume it's a thing in most places where like. I'm usually the guy that goes in, not anymore because you have to do all your shopping at once, right? But I was the guy that went in, I'd buy like 2 things, but I'd go to shops every single day. You'd be like, oh, I need this. Never think ahead. It gets you a little bit of exercise. So I'd always end up just going to the front of the line because people would...
You have to walk to get your cake.
Exactly. It's healthy. I'm exercising. Eat chocolate. But, you know, people say, hey, go on ahead. You know, because they've got a big trolley full of things. You only got 3 things. You're going to be a second. They always let you ahead. There's always that one dude then. Just like, no. Makes you wait.
Right now, though, Heretics, they've already got down vent. Yeah, rushed straight out. Didn't really take any damage on those 2 players in the midst of getting down either. Golden has already reacted, I believe, and rotated himself into position, but it's going to be tough for him to do a lot. I mean, the smoke is slowing this down, so I think for the moment, Heretics didn't immediately commit. I just noticed Lucky hadn't managed to creep out. Trying to reposition himself there. Golden, unfortunately, not able to get the second, but it's about the rest of Heretics now to actually join up. They are crossing over towards Secret. I was going to say it might be a little bit awkward only having that 1 smoke down to cover, but they went out to fight against Grim. With that, should have an easy enough time going across, but XMS still lurking around is being dropped as well. But I mean, at this point, time is beginning to run down a little bit. The CTs need to be real quick on setting themselves up.
That time is way too low at this point. They've got to move quickly. JW not able to hit the shot, but Brawlin keeps on answering back. Molly down to stop them, and from the grave, he might have won the round. Tapping the defuse. I think he might have time.
He has it, yeah.
Yeah, that's real close, though. Just before the green goes on. Luckily, they had that smoke to play with. It was the only one.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't, that's kind of, I guess, what was being relied on. They're throwing down the Molotov, that they wouldn't have a smoke remaining anymore. And I mean, with the amount of pressure they've been shown towards outside and such, and also obviously rushing straight out A and down the vent, they were banking that all those smokes potentially would have been used up. The 1 remained, though. Fnatic, with that, are able to get their first round on the board. Can they manage to do more off the back of this now? They can't afford to just let immediately Heretics to bounce back and get another round win themselves there. Otherwise, they'll be in a lot of trouble. Are we going to be seeing a quick approach yet again? Not looking like it's going to be quite as aggressive. Instead, some presence yet again being shown towards outside with that smoke going down and kind of at least putting the pressure on towards Fnatic that there could be a player crossed over to the red box at least. But that's not the case right now. Just kind of holding this default and waiting to see if perhaps Fnatic swap it up with some aggression.
Let's again looking to see if someone's up on top of Silo. He's just a second or two too early. I'm blind that I'm pushing back off that angle, but Heretics not looking to work that control instead. Not with the full team anyways, or even Maka up above. They're just slowly creeping out as the smokes go down. I think Kiyashima is going to be playing out, just trying to poke the beast, make them think that that control is going towards the T side, and then they'll back off and move it either towards inner or down to ramp. Smokes on the cross, just robbing that information from the T side. Or the CT side even.
Very slow so far. So Heretics, they need to move pretty soon. They do have a Molotov that could have been used to force Brolin out of that corner right there. You can see Maka is posted up waiting for the peak, but not going to be put down. Instead, Brolin given the room to work with. Actually gets 2 kills and tags up Navira a little bit as well. That has somehow managed to pull this back into a decent position now for Fnatic, especially as Golden drops Navira. A 2-on-2. Oh, does he spot that? Yeah, apparently. All right. All onto 1 man to save the day. JW, we've seen him pull off some crazy things, but this one's going to be tough. For the moment, though, it is only Lucky focused on Heaven, so if he gets that first one, he has a chance to try and drop down on the bomb site. Molotov in play as well, going to be going over onto the other side of the bomb site, making sure no one's holding that area, and Maka was relatively close, actually peeked in, despite being blinded, still finds the kill. 6-1 for Heretics. I said Fnatic could not afford to let that happen, to take the 1 round and then immediately have Heretics return with another. And that's exactly what we see. Fnatic's economy kind of ruined onto most of the players. They have to probably just take a half investment at this point. And with that, likely let Heretics take the lead up 7-1.
A 6-1 is a nice little scoreline for Team Heretics. Giving that one to Fnatic and stealing it right back, setting the pace of the series, letting Fnatic know they're not here to mess around. This time they were looking for aggressive outside control, but because those smokes go down so quickly, Fnatic know something's up. They drop the molly, they slow down Heretics, and get themselves in a position down in secret to get that little bit of a crossfire. Not working out for Flusha. He's being spotted. And at this point, what can he really do? He's got a deagle, and they're... I would imagine they would be sure to deal with him. As Maka takes down JW, it opens up some control in secret. They suspect more players to have already rotated down, so it's making a move back up. Trying to deal with Flusha that comes up next. He's tucked in a corner, no way out, no escape. The AK's quickly dispatched.
Yeah, just hunted him down. Didn't want to really let him stay alive in that position, just being a nuisance. Making sure that they get themselves this control towards outside now with a firm 5-on-3 up against these pistols. There really shouldn't be too much issue with being able to close this one out for them. We do have one MP9 actually aggressed around Secret. If he gets this kill on XMS, that could be an AK to potentially steal away. As I said, although XMS makes what is probably the correct decision and begins to fall back, group up with his teammates, but there is still the ability for that potential flank alongside the two players here around this A side of the map. Indeed, the Deagle is able to find one for Crims. A small bit of damage as well being obtained, but it's likely not going to be enough. I mean, the goal now for the two remaining players is, I guess, to see if they can get their kill or two. Take a few weapons out of hands of Heretics, who still haven't really built up any economy for themselves, but that's not looking too likely anymore.
What a way to set the tone of the series, man. I mean, Heretics being up now 7-1 up against Fnatic.
Look at the scoreboard. I just realized Brolin's 12-5.
A little bit ahead of his team, right? Like, this is phenomenal work being done. JW's had the op, what, 3 times now? Not able to get access. And up against Maka. You're not surprised. I mean, if you were watching Heretics yesterday versus Complexity, or indeed just over the last month, man, Road to Rio has been sick for him. It's turned up on 1,000,000%. And it was something, Dean, we've cast a lot together. You know, back in the day, I was always giving Maka some grief. When this lineup started, I felt like, well, not this lineup, actually, the previous Heretics lineup. I was always a little bit critical of him because he felt a little bit too passive. He didn't get a lot done. Definitely was just finding his feet, but it's always hard to tell when a new player comes up. Are they finding their feet or are they bad? Like, where is it? And clearly now that he's got that level of comfort, he's surpassed all my expectations, even what I would have at best hoped for him when he joined this roster. And carrying through alongside Keo to make this new team, now rocking up into the top 30 and owning some of the better teams in that top 30 bracket. I don't know. This is a really promising lineup. There's a lot to be seen from these guys.
Just missed it. Oh. Ramp right there is the opportunity.
Oh, Dean, I think we're having some slight tech issues on your end. Either that or you're revealing your true form as an android. I don't know. But on the presumption that Dean's net is dropping, I'll take over real quick. Brawling from afar, supporting Golden up close on the ramp. He swings through, but gets his head ripped off. Now a hard hold. 50 seconds left. Brawling closes that door. He backs out. He doesn't want anything to do with this. The smoke down will stop them from being able to really get out. And Team Heretics could get a bomb plant, but there's going to be a lot to do. In order to make that happen, Maka caught in the open, taken down. This is dangerous with XMS all by himself. JW's in the molly. He's got 17 HP left. But the door closed behind, and now XMS has nowhere to go. How does he get out of this situation? An AK in hand, and not getting the impact play this time. As Flusha walks out with a double kill alongside Brawlin, Fnatic have taken their second round, and Brawlin finally gets himself on there as the impact player, the MVP of the round. And it's not too much of a surprise. This man has played insanely well so far. Like Dean pointed out previously, and now currently 14-6. He's almost got as many kills as the rest of his team added up. That's not what you want to see. Question is, Dean, are you here? No. That's the first one of the day. Oh! Grims took a lot of damage falling down. That one hurt. The spray control, pretty good. Nade going through. Goodbye, Navera. No, it actually doesn't land, and in fact, Kiyashima trains him out. Putting it into a 4v4. Heretics, they've had a nice burst of aggression to open this up. The AK still in play. The pistols, although they're not the best, they've done damage. That's what we wanted to see. Kiyashima falls, though, as Flusha looks for a little bit more, and he might just get those opportunities. Missing the shot just about. Now he's going to be double swung on. Got to be careful with the pistols. But he's dealing with them quite well. Pistol out to finish it off. And 7-3 we go. Around Fnatic should have won. Now we're not too surprised. So, Dean's DC'd. Just me. At least we're alone now. But no, Dean is having some internet issues past couple days. You guys, I was saying yesterday, you will have experienced this yourselves, perhaps. I experienced it 2 days ago, where my internet was turning off every like 40 minutes for 10 minutes. He should be back in about 5. Until then, you've got to deal with my incessant ranting. But luckily, we've had some fast rounds, and we probably will have another one. Heretics coming in with just pistols, deagles, and P2 fitties straight down towards... Oh, that's handy. The bomb went straight down the vent. That's it's just one final act. Go forth. Go on without me. Throws the bomb down the vent. Look, he's got it. Now he's in position on the B bomb site. Much better than it could have been if the bomb was out in the open. For Heretics, though, the only issue is they haven't got outside control properly. They haven't, they have got the smokes for crosses. Let me see, Kiyoshima and Lucky, so that they actually can't properly cross, which is a big issue. So no way to go down and support them. Oh, that was a risky play by Flusha. He was being spotted as he walked up a little further, and that'll end his life. I guess there he's trying to maybe flank up behind them, get in, but he can't do it. Gambling on just the one player up on top, but it's very rare he'd be there by himself. Had to find that first kill much, much quicker. By the way, with Heretics already having one kill on the board, I'll look for a little bit more. As time ticks along, I'm wondering for Heretics where they're ending up. I mean, it's clearly looking like it's going to be a... I just need to quickly check where Lucky is. Okay, so he's made his way to outside. So in a decent position with the bomb in play, going to come up through heaven. And they're making a little bit of noise. They're showing presence, letting them know that they're outside of A main, but they've got to make a push in and start making a little bit more noise because players are still looking up towards heaven. Lucky's going to have a fight on his hands as he walks out. If he finds this kill, it should be all in the bag. And he does indeed. JW was distracted. Out they come. And from behind. That is so well played by Heretics. 4 seconds left. They get the bomb plant. Textbook. The guy on top stops looking at heaven because he's trying to support main. Out comes Lucky. Takes the kill. Then the player on site, well, he's looking up at heaven because the player just got a kill from there. And that's when the guys come out main. So well handled. Team Heretics should be closing it out. Maka with the AWP closes the first kill. And it's all on Golden, who's shooting people through walls. The man's an animal. Hold on. Maka's in danger. USB up close. He's looking for the other player at the back of the bomb site, but he can't get it done. Really, ammunition in the M4 was the main issue for him. Spamming so many walls, spraying away. He's eventually had to go to the USP to save the day, and it couldn't be done. Heretics up on 8, and their T side is looking so strong. Heretics over the last couple days, honestly, have just been so fun to watch. Of course, we do have to remember this is their map pick, right? Inferno is coming up next, but the issue for me is Inferno is their favorite map, actually. It's either Nuke or Inferno that they pick, and obviously here, they've had a huge advantage, leaving it open for Fnatic. Playing right into Heretics' hands, and we finish on Overpass. Now, in all fairness, Overpass isn't a great map for Heretics. They've won it 100% of the time, but 2 of those are versus Movistar Riders, and definitely not in the same level of competition as Fnatic. I would favor Fnatic if we make it to map 3, but those first 2 look so good for Heretics. Good positioning by JW. Should catch. Whoopsie daisies. That's actually going to cost him his life with a swing. Oh no. Lucky though, caught through the wall in the smoke, leaving Navera all by himself. 1 versus 3. We've seen that Navera can op in the past, but with 5 HP on the board, I don't know how much you believe in it, but I certainly don't. Looking pretty convincing to be a round, saving the AWP through to the next, which is needed, but also without a bomb plant, you're going to have XMS unable to buy. And as time ticks away, it's confirmed. Navera takes the AWP through, but that is hard blow to the TZ economy. Now just look at XMS, 2400 moving into this, but with the op saved forward, I've pretty much no doubt that it will be a buy-up. For the CT side, it's good signs that we're starting to see a bit of a pickup in performance. It was very much needed. Lusha joining Brawl and up towards the top end of that scoreboard, but Heretics having a well-rounded offense definitely stands to them to be a good CT. And again, we've seen very recently what they've been able to do up against some of these opponents of the higher caliber. We'd maybe normally discount them against. JW there with an opening duel, one of his first successfully connected. We know for sure that the CT side will be decent for Heretics when they swap over. They've just gained ramp control as well. The player down below Golden just legging it, giving complete control to the terrorist side. 1 minute left on the clock. Plenty of time for Heretics to pick and choose where they want to go. And it looks like it is going to be down towards B. Plenty of utility. JW opens the door just in time to get flashbang, but they haven't spotted Golden. He gives away his position. That's a big mistake without catching the kill onto XMS. Tagged up, JW can... Whoops. Oh, he drops the molly, but that's the last thing he does. Getting taken down right afterwards. Man advantage no longer in play for Fnatic. The spam not good, and a bomb plant for Heretics. Now holding down, but Kiyoshima's caught in the open, leaving it into a 2v3, and a lot of work to be done here by Heretics to get back into it. They've got to hold off as the players come out. Ramp, nice swing by Navarra. His one-taps are unrivaled. And it's all down to Crims. He's got to get out, but he can't do a thing. Navarra in with the headshot to close that one out. Beautiful stuff. And 9-4 we go. An enigma of the highest order. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I've got a treat for you. Because joining us is the beautiful Dean. Hey, Dean. How you doing?
Yeah, I've returned to Discord, but I have to restart my game to get it connected back to the network. Yeah, no, my internet took ages to restart as well.
It happens. Nice. It happens. But we've just had an insane round from Navarra. He was tapping away at heads. Like, we know he can. It's in his genes after all. But my god, they're now 9-4 up, and Heretics, they're struggling to give anything to Fnatic. They're not nice people. You know, they're not friends. They don't share, and they don't care. 2 rounds left to compete for, and Fnatic need to bring it to 6. Nice slow approach from Heretics yet again. Bringing in towards outside. Keo took a little bit of fall damage. Somehow that molly doesn't extend to JW. He's safe to still stand on the ladder, and they didn't hear any ticks, so they may presume that position to be clear. But they're not actually going to care about that. They're not pushing out towards, well, outside. Or towards inside. They're going outside. Need the smokes down on the cross, though. Flusha is holding down with the deagle. Even on this weaker buy, they can be dangerous, but Maka doesn't give a damn. Straight through the wall. Takes that headshot to Flusha. As Kiyoshima here's the M4 up on top of the hut. They know that that's where the rifle is. So you're probably seeing that focus down to B because of that.
I have returned finally. I've got everything set up. Had to redo some commands and such. Yeah, I'm hopping into a round here where obviously Fnatic do have the weaker buy, but they have managed to pull this 1 kill back now from JW. Unfortunately, it's looking like the commitment probably will be towards B. Kiyoshima can even manage to make his way down the ramp at this point, give them that extra angle of attack. Although Navarra mollies and it's also being smoked, so he's gonna just lurk around for the moment. And JW still waiting on this bomb site with the deagle. Almost managed to find himself another, but he does the damage, making it that much easier for Brolin. And it's fell all onto Maka. He's been flanked out right now. This 5-7 should easily end this round. Although it was a lot closer than it should have been. Brought down to 20 health there, Crims was.
Yeah, but considering what Fnatic started with, they just had pistols and a rifle. For Heretics to lose that is a real kick in the gonads. Fnatic now come into this round still with not the best of buys. But Heretics are in the same boat, finally, in a position where their economy can be challenged on a fairly even basis, if not even favorable to the CT side. The AWP in play for JW has started to matter a little bit more across the last 5 rounds or so, but has definitely been slow to start. The nade, the spray, Flusha with 2, and the bomb dropped in the open. That's a damn bad way to start the round for Heretics.
Yeah, looking like Fnatic could manage to recover it up to 6 rounds after all, which is obviously not what they want to be on, but it's better than what it was looking to be. As Brolin extends this advantage even further from the roof right there. Nice little angle down on Lucky. JW having a gap on that smoke. Gets more than I believe realizes that XMS is pushed around, or at least being cautious of it. He has given himself the chance now to take one, brings down Golden, but it's only a shotgun that he could find, so he's going to stick with the MP9 for now, bring it down towards B, where he has a chance to at least get the bomb plant. The only positive, of course, of that being right now is that he then has the opportunity to try and actually play the time on it, but even then it's going to be very difficult.
And they've heard him open single door as well, and now as they clear it out, they'll realize, well, he's gone through there. Probably on the flank, they close the double doors, and what can he do from this point? He has to go for it, opens it up, and almost hits 2, but nothing he could do. The defuse for Fnatic, and they take 6 rounds as we close out the half. A good performance from them, and we'll see if, or from Heretics, excuse me, a very good T side. We'll see if Fnatic can match that as they swap over to the attack, but before we find out how that one plays out, we've got to throw things over to a quick break.
Turn my heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your way right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go.
Top of the morning to you and welcome back. We're ready to go with half number 2. Heretics, 9 rounds on their T side. It has been dominant. But Fnatic now swap over to the attack, and honestly, I'd be a little bit scared if I was Heretics. We know their CT is good, I'm not doubting that. But now the Fnatic are on the attack and they get to group up, take the game at their pace. This is where things could take a turn for the worse for the Frenchmen.
Your intro hurt me.
Ah, sure, why would that do it, Dean?
But yeah, I mean, Fnatic, they need to come through. They need to be hurting Heretics with their intro to the second half by picking up the pistol. Makido obviously gonna say nah. Flush it immediately, getting wrecked over towards the door. They will still push their way onto the A bomb site because Heretics right now are playing for the retake, but XMS picks up a double as well around the smoke. Suddenly it's a 5-on-2. Fnatic are in trouble. They may just be able to find that bomb plant as a small bonus, but the nade comes over and ensures that they're going to have an even more difficult time now actually holding this off. Brolin gets one again, one of the standout players for sure here on Nuke for Fnatic so far, but it's not going to be enough. We don't see Golden being able to step up either. A convincing pistol from Heretics as they take it up to 10.
And here comes XMS looking jolly as ever in just a second on our screens. But I imagine in real life, if we had a cam to show, he's probably smiling. 10-6. It's good, but the problem is, and the reason that you might look a bit like XMS there, they've allowed a bomb plant. And that leaves Fnatic in a spot where a force buy is definitely possible and threatening to the counter-terrorist side. With that, 11 isn't guaranteed. But should they win this one, they're probably on 12. There's always an upside, but there's always a downside as well. Going to be pessimistic about the situation. You see though, Fnatic don't have any AKs. They've decided to go for armor on everybody. Usually, or not usually, but an option is to drop over AKs on 2 players. Kiyashima taken down. The fast blitz out, but it's being countered by XMS up above. Down to the USP. Not talking about down. Fnatic are down below. They're on the B bomb site.
Yeah, bomb plant again being found as a bonus. Having the man disadvantage. This time a better position overall, especially as Crims had a decent spot. If he could have gotten a little bit closer with that Mach 10, perhaps it would have been somewhat more dangerous, but JW can still be the issue right now for them. Flush it as well, put pressure on that player over towards the ramp, and JW with an M4 now manages to get himself when it's come down to the one-on-one. Maka has the defuse kit at least to work with here. The bomb, I believe, is planted, though, out in the open for Flusher to work off of. Shoulder peek, and I believe haven't been spotted at this point, but Maka, he has to just go ahead and stick it now. Beginning to spin, I believe. Flusher struggling to get the kill, but he decides, yeah, I'm not going for the headshot. I'm not playing that game.
A very brave move by Maka. Doing the disco spin, but sadly, it's not working out. If Navera could have just survived a little bit longer on the ramp, it could have been theirs, but unfortunately, not having that control. Flush is down. He's taking the frag and closing out the round, putting Fnatic within 3 of Heretics. A good spot to play from now. We saw Crims actually do really well in the first 2 rounds of this game. I think he's been silent ever since then. Just noticing that now. But then again, we mentioned earlier on how the whole of Fnatic was struggling on that CT side, with the exception of Brawlin for the most part.
I mean, Flush has been having a pretty decent game as well. You do need everyone to be stepping up ideally, giving themselves a good opportunity to do so now, having won out that first buy. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the investment that you see from Heretics not being as strong as what Fnatic were able to afford in the previous cider. So if they do take this, then looking at potentially a 9-10 scoreline. And we definitely have a game back in our hands then for sure. Brolin going to be pushing forward. There is a player up close to the right that he doesn't immediately check. Makido begins to make some good footsteps. Brolin, he reacts quickly, but isn't going to be able to outlast the fight there against XMS, unfortunately. So down to the 4-on-4. The damage, though, that's been done, obviously favoring over towards Fnatic on top of the weapons, helping them out a little bit more. So I wasn't expecting maybe too much, but I was going to say the chance for at least a few more kills for Heretics. But there is still the M4 here. Navira hasn't been as much of a standout player so far in this one as he was in some of the previous matches, but is still contributing a lot of impact when needed, and this would be a round where they definitely want them to come through big, and unfortunately that's not allowed. Crims, the man you called out, taps away, gets the headshot. He actually drops the bomb, but doesn't expect the second player to follow up so quickly.
Right, I mean, you just mentioned Crims not having a good game, and he's like, yeah, hold my beer, bro. 10-8. Fnatic closing in the gap. And they've put down the CTs to an eco. And this is going to be about as clean cut as a round as you could hope for. At least on paper. You never know how those USPs are going to play out. XMS picking up a P2 50. Of course, if you were here in the previous series, you saw a full Glock play. P2 getting destroyed on a full eco. Whoopsie daisies. Golden was a little lost. But that's only the Mach 10. They can afford to lose that. Now it's all down to the AKs to close it out, and they're just going to push together. I doubt the USPs get much more done.
He almost jinxed it a little bit. A lot of damage being done by the spam through the smoke, but it is dealt with there by Flusha. leaving only Maka with 6 health for opponents. I mean, it's very unlikely he finds anything from this, unless maybe he can catch Crims or Flusha. Flusha especially would be a relatively easy finish. Crims, if he could maybe catch him and get a quick dink towards the head, he would have an opportunity. But moving into lobby, I don't think that's going to happen. JW ready. There was a few more players around as well, and that was an easy finish indeed. 9 to 10, 1 in the difference. We weren't expecting a lot from them there in that round, to be fair. It's now where they're going to be coming back onto the bye. But nades are going to be extremely limited. They get the op out on Maka at least, but you see Kiyoshima being forced down to the MP9 so that they can at least have some utility to give them a hand. I wouldn't mind a pause here before going into this opening gun round.
It is definitely very important, the weight of which I'm sure is known by Heretics, so surprising they don't go in for it. Straight down, maybe not. Trying to get into the vents, JW couldn't quite make it in time. He quenched the Molotov with the spray and the nade, just a little bit too much. We've seen Heretics. Woo, that's a very aggressive play by Maka, considering they had the man advantage. He still goes in for it with the AWP, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And Maka, feeling it.
Ooh, Lucky's feeling some bullets in his face. Had a decent chance there to try and grab a kill, but they've still the man advantage at least. This round hasn't completely crumbled away. The only issue is they don't have anyone rotated down towards B as of yet. So with these two players moving in, they might have a good chance to at least try and get that bomb planted. Navira just now positioning himself over towards ramp. As a nades, he has nothing, unfortunately, to actually try and deal out a bit of damage or delay that push at all. So we will indeed see that bomb being planted quite easily. 3 on 4 though, so it's still going to be tough for them to hold off this after plant. They have, I believe, also left a lurker there towards outside. Flusha yet to move. Will likely eventually move in towards the vents or perhaps secret. But Heretics themselves, they don't have a lot of time to go. They do have a defuse. Thankfully, they have a Molotov now and a couple of flashes as well to try and give them some room. And XMS is able to pick up that opening towards Golden.
Brawlin, though, still lurking towards observation room, but no, he's not able to catch them. Flush on the spray gives away his position. They know where they both are now. Nade dropped through. Good damage being done, but he can't get it finished off. And the bomb now being diffused safely away from Brawlin. We'll get it just in time to put 11 on the board for Team Heretics. And Fnatic losing that one, but at least getting the bomb plant just about pushes them into the realm of buying. Otherwise, Golden would have been quite low on money, and I think Flusha as well, not too bad. Utility might have been hurting. They had to drop some players over. But this is going to cost them the full whack. All their money invested into this one. And it's not ideal. Fnatic need to win. I mean, if they don't get this, it's 13 on the board for Heretics.
I mean, but it's kind of the same here for both of the teams. Obviously being a little bit more important for Fnatic already being down, but if they are to get this one, it's also going to be Heretics who will struggle massively in the next round with the economy. Having the exact same loss bonus coming in, both of them will be getting 1900, so it's not a great spot for either of them to be in. This round is just so important now. As we see Fnatic taking it kind of slow. They put a lot of pressure towards outside, trying to bait out the nades and such before they actually begin the push, now putting down the full wall of smokes. But there is one man up close right now and towards Secret being lucky. A little bit of help as the gap there allows for Crims to be taken down. The dink at least towards Brolin before he's able to get that kill towards Secret. So it's not a bad position for Heretics. As I say that though, I may have jinxed it a little bit. Flusha grabs one. They've now also pressured in towards the ramp, and they're setting themselves up to split on towards B. Kind of just all over the place at the moment.
This is like,
to make the move.
It's like shuffling a deck. Kiyoshima gets taken down, but there's no way they expect XMS to be in the spot he is. Movement forward, Flusha won't be challenging that angle at all. It's all down to the timing, and it's already gone. XMS won't be able to catch them. That's down through ramp they go, and the split should be successful. Leaving the B site completely compromised. Navera has to get a lot done. We've seen him with the one taps in the past. He's got the AK. He's got a limited HP as well, being spammed through the floor. And that will close him out. But XMS in a 1v4. Brawlin, JW both low. But obviously he doesn't know that. And a 1v4 saving is definitely the right call.
I'm going to presume that that jump was not intended by Naveri there on the bomb site either. Once he got shot through the bottom of it, he jumped up. He did spot the players, but then he was just completely screwed. They had heard him out either way, I believe, once those shots were connected. But yeah, strong round by Fnatic. It was a crazy one because they got that control down on B, but they still had to manage to pull two players somehow either through ramp or else out through outside and down through secret. So it took them quite a while to actually get that push to happen, but they do manage to come out on top of it, and now don't want to let XMS actually save this weapon. They don't have much money themselves. So it is a bit of a risky one, but they obviously know that if they are to take it away, there will be pretty much nothing in this next round for Heretics to actually work with themselves. Molotov, though, holds them back. They're not really willing to put too much towards it once it's not given to them easily. But there it is, one round now in the difference. Fnatic have certainly begun to work their way back into this, and this is definitely going to be worrying here for Heretics now as the gap kind of begins to close in. Especially, as I said, it's only going to be that one rifle here in this round. I don't even really expect too many pistols to be upgraded. There's a couple P250s, but that is it.
Yeah, and realistically, although, no, just taking a look at it, Maka could have dropped over some pistols, considering XMS's 3600. Even just P250s to himself and Navarro would have been nice. Maybe they want to go for a double op setup, but pending that they don't, which I don't think we've seen very often or at all from Heretics on Nuke, it would be, I'd rather see them have the P2s. Maka doesn't need one. He just hits a lot of headshots with the USP. They give away a kill, but that's fine. They knew Maka was there. They see one in CT, but they have no idea about the other two. Yashima and Lucky poked away. The molly doesn't quite block Lucky or push him into the open. And they've got a nice crossfire as the push comes out. Keo not spotted up on top. That's his chance. Gets one and Lucky from behind. Good for no. He runs out of ammunition. Golden could have fallen, and that very well could have been the round. He was full HP. He could have grabbed an AK, and now it's a 1v1. Just one bullet away.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a bit too close to be comfortable there for Fnatic, especially now as Heretics do come back onto the gun round. Again, they've at least been able to do some damage, keep the economy low. And if Heretics are able to get themselves back into the position where they are controlling again, they get a couple rounds on the CT side, then again, Fnatic will begin to feel a lot of pressure to make that comeback happen. But both teams now on their full investments. The op does come out for Maka. We're not going to see the double op like you said was possible, deciding against it. Similar position though for Lucky again, coming up inside Secret, and has been spotted by Brolin, but he's still able to make that kill work above the smoke and may have a chance for more. Small bit of damage towards Golden. He may have the repeak as well coming in soon. That'll be a dangerous one indeed. The flash at least goes in beforehand, forces him back down now. Fortunately for his sake, the Molotov had just gone away. Was that his own nade? Nah, I don't believe so. Thrown over Silo, judging by the thing, I believe.
I mean, it wouldn't have made it down to him if it was thrown from...
Oh no, yeah, I thought it might have bounced around the wall. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It wasn't on him. It swapped to him just as he took the damage. It looked a little bit weird though.
No, either way, that's going to put us into a position now for Heretics where they've got a man advantage. They don't need to play overly aggressive, but they also know that that door was opened earlier on. Haven't seen any contact from it, and XMS playing a super passive hold, allowing them out. Problem is, there's mollies on their way. No, there's not. Never mind the mollies. They're in T-spawn. I don't know what they're doing with those ones. So XMS is still good. It took away passively. And wait, that would have been a kill. If that landed and actually touched him, he would have fallen down. JW was watching it, waiting. Good nade coming through. Not going to land much, but XMS playing anti-flash. Didn't expect them to just dry peek. They're running through. They're lunatics. And JW good for one, but that's all. Taken down right afterwards. And Team Heretics, 12-11. How impactful that botched Molotov can be is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if that nade was messed up as well by Heretics, then that was just all around not a good round for people throwing utility. But Heretics, as I said, if they were able to bounce back in, get around on the CT side, they could put Fnatic in a troublesome spot with the economy. If they were able to chain together too, then they'd be able to get themselves a position where they're controlling again, and likely would bring themselves up to 14 at that point. So this is a very difficult position now for Fnatic. They're buying up, obviously, as you can see, 3 rifles already. Flush it and Golden have enough to afford as well. They might be considering going for something a little bit weaker. I would say maybe in the case of Golden, go for that. I'd rather see Flush actually have an AK, especially with how well he's been playing alongside Brolin. They've been the two kind of positives we've had here for Fnatic in terms of contributing with the frags. Okay, Flushy yet to buy still. Yeah, eventually just goes for the AK. Nades aren't too bad, even with them all just pulling the AK straight out. Can definitely still make do. No Molotov, sadly.
Well, Lucky's not so lucky this time. Tries to go for outside control, but gets taken out. With Heretics being cast by us almost every single day at this point, Dean, I can't count how many times I've made that joke, but I'm sure it'll happen many more times. It's like an instinct at this point.
Some of them just come too easily. You have to
I've
do it.
heard that in the past. The 4 versus 5 that's in play leave Fnatic with a hunger for more, evidently. Navarra getting taken down. Look at this by Maka. He's so close. He was a second late on every single angle, but eventually he sees all 3. Time to back off, and he survives with... Oh, no, he doesn't survive. The nade coming over just quickly deals with him. And spotted up close, tagged through the smoke. XMS is out. Kiyoshima's got it all to do.
I do not fancy his chances at all. He is actually coming up through Secret right now. It looked like Crims was maybe considering going to have a little bit of a look around there, which could have given him an opening to try and work back in. But at this point, nah, it just has to be the save that's called for. The economy now of Heretics has been completely shattered. Kiyoshima with a little bit of a shake in the mouth, perhaps showing some frustration, as it is tied back up at 12-12. And with only the 1 rifle coming into this next round, they likely are just going to take themselves that full eco. They get, what, 1900 indeed coming into it, so... into the round afterwards, they will get a relatively strong buy. Thankfully, not facing a double eco. But that was very convincing there from Fnatic. Again, despite actually lacking a lot of the nades, such as the Molotovs, to be able to flush those positions out.
Tied up on 12-12. Kiyoshima on an AK. Everyone else on the USPs. I don't think we're seeing a force out of this. And for Fnatic, this certainly is surprising to an extent based on how these maps usually play out. But at the same time, you have to understand that when a team is of a different caliber, it's the T side where that shows up the most. As long as Heretics are comfortable with the map, which we know they are, and they're able to field an okay T side, it's generally not on an individual level that Fnatic will completely dominate them. But when it comes to the terrorist side, and they're able to use the manipulation of the actual map to their advantage, their team play, to completely separate these two, well, that's when they fall ahead by a bit. That's what we've seen so far. In this round, I wouldn't read into it too much. XMS taken down on outside with just a base pistol and the nade. And for the rest of them, USP, 2 P2 fitties, it's all down to Kiyoshima, really, to get any damage done. And probably from the start of this round, the ideal situation is Kiyoshima saving. If the situation unfolds, obviously, if they get a couple kills, change up the strategy. But if Kiyoshima saves this AK and they find like 1 or 2 kills, they're happy.
Yeah, an AK is massive to have on that CT side. The ability for the 1 shot towards the head, obviously. He is taking a fight towards outside. That's nearly a kill for Navarra. I mean, he got very close to being able to drop JW, and with that, maybe could have even retrieved a second weapon for him. Not allowed to happen, though. With that now, easily we will see Fnatic just walk on towards that B-bomb site, and Kiyoshima, as you said, shouldn't really be getting anywhere near it. He should be backing away trying to save that AK. Obviously, Lucky and Maka can both stick around, see if they can finish off any of these tagged up players, see if they can just take down a couple in general, and I mean, who knows, maybe even steal some more weapons to actually save into this next round, because Fnatic are about to claim the lead for themselves. And we haven't mentioned it in a little while, but this is the map choice of Heretics. We have Inferno then coming up next. And if needed, I am blanking a little bit. I think it's Overpass is decider. Let me double check.
It is. Overpass is where, if you just look at the stats on HLTV, hold on, Kiyoshima's actually doing quite well at saving over this AK. But they know what he's got, and they don't want him to have it. Thing is, his buddy's here to help him out. Lucky might actually even oh, he's gonna swing. Oh, that's backing off afterwards. Doesn't want to just give them some free cash. Kiyashima, though, saves the AK. They get 2 kills. That's what I'm saying. Good round overall. They cannot be upset with it. But if you just take a look at the HLTV stats, or the stats, as we call them, in general for Fnatic and Heretics, Overpass looks like it's a way better map for Heretics, right? 100% win rate. 3 times they've played it. Fantastic. 2 were versus Movistar Rider and 1 was versus Simon. And in that Simon game, it was 22-20. They did not win it easily. I wouldn't pin Overpass as one of their better maps for sure. I think as a decider, that definitely favors Fnatic.
Certainly, and I think Inferno coming up next, obviously being the choice of Fnatic, although it is when Heretics can play, it is going to be a bit of a struggle for them for sure. So Nuke, probably a necessary win here for them. And a decent start, obviously, into this round, and maybe even a little bit more than decent. Perhaps I was understating that slightly, because they did take both Brolan and JW out, especially Brolan being a big player to be able to take out a play early on in this round, as he's currently sitting at a 30 bomb. set themselves up for this A hit. Unfortunately, XMS is able to catch one there just before they threw the Molotov in towards the vents. So he cut the timing pretty well right there.
Got Navarro with one and flushes left up all by his lonesome. About to peek into an AWP. Actually pushes him back with utility, but Navarro just sticks around. Doesn't care. And Maka's in as well. Ops everywhere he was looking. 13-13 tied up. Fnatic in with another buy. Heretics looking to stop them yet again. I think for Heretics here, this double op setup now being spotted, I expect Fnatic are going to be playing a much more execute heavy game. We're going to see those smokes used up early on to close in the distances and eliminate the ops for the most part from the gameplay. The movements towards inside. I was expecting outside smokes early on as a bit of a combat. And you can see Team Heretics were as well. They've already sent Lucky out there to try and fade through smokes if they came down on outside. But instead, he's left just playing around the garage, not been given any opportunities to do so. Also, with a two-man push into Hut, as Maka, we've seen him do this a couple of times. Looks to move on forward with that AWP in the next 20 seconds or so and see if he finds a pick.
Quite patient with it right now.
With those outside smokes, yeah, he was going to move, and he found the bomb as well.
It was Lucky who was also able to deal out a lot of damage around the smoke over towards Secret. Eventually finds Brolin also creeping up close. I believe JW, who was tagged down earlier on. Speaking of the Mando, he is able to go ahead and catch that op re-peeking in towards the door. So a little bit of a recovery right now, but they're still in a tough spot having this 3-on-4. The smoke goes down towards the door. Just over 50 seconds remaining, so I mean they're not in too much of a rush to make that commitment happen, but it does seem like they still want to favor on towards A. Molly going down, just to stop, I guess, anyone from being able to swing out onto JW and peek him as he's coming out door, so we can focus on one less angle a little bit. But right now, Heretics, they're just kind of stacked up around the bomb site. Two players at least immediately in position. XMS on the up so far is the one getting pretty much all the work done. Picks up the triple kill for himself, and this double op setup, since they brought this out in the last couple of rounds, has been working well for them. Taking the lead back once again, and Fnatic, they might just have to eco and play for the overtime. XMS's
face when you say that Mac is the best opper on the team. That was a damn good play by him. Coming through with a triple kill to close it out. 26 frags on the board. Just yesterday, we had a chat spam that XMS was a noob. Say it to him now, bro. You wouldn't say it to him at LAN. He's swole. He eats at all the nicest restaurants. All that sort of stuff. Whatever the spam is. Copy pasta. But XMS, unbelievable performance here on Nuke so far. Maka backing him up. Not often you say that. And for Fnatic, losing this map out is a little bit dangerous. Remember, Heretics are super comfortable on Inferno. No doubt Fnatic are as well. But when you move on to a map where you're both in a comfy spot, and Heretics have just taken the first, things get a little bit tight. Get a little bit scary. Problem for me is Heretics CT side, and I believe they'll be starting out. Yes, they will be starting out on the CT side. I just want to double check in case something weird was going on. On the Terrors, they can make a big recovery, but I don't expect CT side Inferno to go too well for them. You never know with how they're playing now.
Yeah, I mean, I never seem to be able to count Heretics out of the game. They always show up, make it competitive, make it entertaining to watch at the very least. And right now, Fnatic, I mean, they've covered some ground, at least with these pistols making their way onto B. Unfortunately, losing a couple players, being kind of spammed down as well, being shipped away at in the process of making it into that position, meaning that holding the actual afterplant is going to be near impossible at this point. I may have jinxed this slightly. Brolin has got himself one kill, will at least be traded on. And yeah, now it's all on Cream. Trapped in behind the silo. CZ, not ideal at long range. He does tap away to get the first, but now he has 2 bullets left, so he had to go for the headshot there and wasn't able to connect it. No time for the reload. Push down. Plenty of time, though, for the defuse for Heretics, obviously. Map point being found. This is their map choice. So, I mean, it's not super shocking, but in general, I think most people definitely coming in expecting Fnatic to have a relatively easy series, especially if you haven't been following Heretics recently.
15-13, man. They're so close to taking it across the line. Fnatic have got big work to do to pull back on into this. Mac 10 gone in for Golden. Huh. He's got 2,300 left, but he's decided, nah, I want a Mac 10. What he's feeling. Not often you see that coming in the final round.
This though either, I don't think. when we were covering Fnatic the other day, they were doing it, but normally when they had a lead, I guess it is so they can go for this quicker play out for the web smoke, but so far not working in their favor. As I say that, Navira unfortunately being overwhelmed, not able to take out any more with the AWP, and Kiyoshima rotating in gets dropped as well.
That's actually really big. The fact they've only lost the Mac 10 before they get down to the B bomb site. Good spray. Mac was in trouble, but he goes through the smoke. This man has got balls for days, but the bomb unfortunately has been planted, leaving XMS to clutch it out. Through the smoke he goes, but not able for the kill. And with Brawlin having a 4K, Fnatic pull it across the line, keeping the team alive. He has been on non-stop this game, short of dropping 40 kills in regulation. 35 right now. All he needs is an ace. Easily done. Full AKs, no AWP pulled through for the T side. But Heretics, they might be in this. Oh, they're not. Mac has gone for a glass cannon.
Okay, I mean, knowing Maka, he's probably not going to give them any room, but obviously can't afford to be as aggressive considering he doesn't have the armor. Up against those nades, it could be an issue. So yeah, just taking it towards outside. And Fnatic right now fighting for this. It happened, almost catching the timing on that spray, but it actually just let Kiyoshima return it. An opening kill going the way of Heretics as they put Fnatic heavily on the back foot right now. A 4-on-5 to recover from. If they actually do want to take this into overtime, if not Heretics, they'll be feeling comfortable taking their own map choice, at least in this series. There we go, smoke's going down towards outside. They will look to advance in this direction most likely. The aggressive ones, which gives them the option rather to get up close towards main and such if they want to try and set up an A split. And in general, can limit the information a little bit more for the CTs. Navira though, good position.
So important for Fnatic. I want to take this series cleanly. Huge kill by Kiyoshima to start it out. Brawlin though, he's still alive, only for a second. Navira pops up to delete him. XMS full blind though, couldn't deal with him. Crims swings, but he can't find it. Here's the AWP up behind the site, now has to be very cautious. Smokes out behind him. Molly going through to try and force Maka out of position, but he gets taken down, and it's all onto Flusha. A 1v3. At least he's gotten the bomb plant down below with the door still open. Oh, they actually think he's opened it there, that he's on his way through, that he's at least closed it behind him. Like a polite boy.
They're all coming in from single, so this could be a little bit dangerous if he had perhaps been posted on the angle already, but nah, Maka gets out, creates the space, and just actually gets the kill himself. So there it is. Heretics able to go ahead and get the victory on Nuke. 16-14, it was a very, very close one indeed, and it was their map choice, so I don't think Fnatic are going to be too